Ladies, welcome back to our channel and welcome during the month of June. We've seen you've interacted with the materials and it's wonderful, and we bless the Lord for giving us such an opportunity to minister this way while we are being isolated socially. Today we are delving into the topic caregiving to the caregivers, and we have a wonderful speaker, Rhoda Wagaki. Rhoda, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Wamboi. Thank you very, very much. My name is Rhoda Wagaki. I am a psychosocial counselor, and I also run Suruvi Home Care Services, which are services focused on taking care of caregivers. All of us at one point or another have either received care or given care, or will be giving care. And so it's important that we think about how to go about it, how to cope with everything that comes with it. And I find it very exciting that you as a group are focusing on caregivers. It's a wonderful topic today.
Wagaki, tell us, what is caregiving? What does it entail?
Okay. Caregiving means you are helping a person through their day-to-day activities, a person who is unable to do that for themselves, either because of an illness, a condition, a physical or mental condition, or a disability. So they need someone to help take care of themselves. This person can either be a trained caregiver or an untrained caregiver, a member of the family or a friend, just somebody who is in the social network of an ailing person. Then you become a caregiver. Sometimes it's a decision you make, sometimes it finds you. You find that you are in the position of taking care of another person. That is a caregiver. Physically, that is a caregiver.
Wagaki.
Yes.
What is required of a caregiver?
Compassion. Compassion is one of the big things that are required of a caregiver. So then that takes us next to who is this person offering compassion? What are the supporting qualities so that the compassion can be expressed, right? If you're taking care of an elderly person, then maybe you need to have listening skills so that then you can understand, you can step into their world. For almost everybody who is unwell, who is living with a condition, or who is getting older by the minute, empathy. Empathy is where you are able to step into their shoes and walk the mile with them. It is when you go to college for caregiving, then you are taught many other things like how to carry the physical burden if you need to help them to the bathroom, if you need to help them with taking medication, if you need to help them with dressing, if you need to help them with eating, because these are all the day-to-day activities that the person you're helping, you're giving care to, that they need to do. So there's that physical attribute. But all of this is driven with kindness. It's driven by kindness, compassion, altruism, generosity of your heart. That is the underlying quality that caregivers need to have. And so without that, it will be difficult. You'll just be a robot. You'll just be a robot carrying out activities. So there is need for compassion.
So oftentimes, for instance, I could be a caregiver. I'm looking after my person, as you're referring them to, and probably you could expound on my person bit. I could be working elsewhere, or on this particular day, I'm not able to. Meaning, because of our daily lives, we need the help of a third party caregiver. What will I be looking when looking for a caregiver?
All right. Thank you, Amboi, for that question. It's an interesting question that I think every recruiter for any job they are looking for. Let me draw a bit from my experience taking care of my father. He had an aging condition. He had dementia and Alzheimer's that we did not know about, because all we noted was that his personality had changed a lot. But then when he went to hospital because of pneumonia, and the doctors told us he has dementia and Alzheimer's, now we needed to think about who will take care of him full-time, because this is a degenerative condition. And so we stepped out there and we started asking people, do you know of a home nurse or a nursing aide? Or we did not know the term caregiving. We did not know that. We were just looking for someone to help at home. And by referral, we ended up with, because it being that he's our dad, meant that we as daughters might not be able to take care of all of his physical needs. Certainly. So we were looking for a male caregiver. And the person we were referred to seemed confident, like he knew what he wanted to do and what we should do and all of that. And that helped us because we were in a state of confusion. But then when he came home to take care of my dad, he stole from my dad. He stole his clothes, he stole his money, and then he disappeared with his phone as well. He then disappeared. And that took us back to, wait a minute, what should we have been looking for when looking for a caregiver? Are we looking for just a kind-hearted person? Are we looking for a person who has the right words? What are we looking for? And that's where we discovered there are actually colleges, training institutes for caregivers. There's Avenue Home Care Services, a branch of Avenue Hospital. There is Brooklyn Institute of Caregivers. There is Ujuzi Fursa. But then all of this knowledge came much, much later. But now that I am running Suruvi Home Care Services, I discovered all of these institutions from searching on Google, searching on the internet, caregivers in Kenya. And I would advise that before you employ someone, look at their qualifications. If they say they are trained, then get a certificate, do a background check, ask for references, because this is a person who's coming into a private space. They are coming very close to the person they are taking care of. Maybe you can look at KMTC for nurses if it's a condition that requires administering of medication. You can look at nurses in training or retired nurses. They are there. There's a whole world out there that then we discovered much, much later on. But always remember that when you're bringing in a stranger, if the family caregiver, family member is unable to take care of this person and you're bringing in a stranger, consider the security, physical security of the person requiring care and what they have around them. Do you need to close the wardrobes? Do you need to put them in a room where their personal effects are not, that this person doesn't have access to their personal effects? Consider that.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that must have been tragic to lose.
It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking.
Now, you spoke about you taking care of your father. Now, which brings me to the area of self-care as a caregiver also. Because we are looking, and probably you'll answer two questions there. You're looking at the imminent or anticipatory loss.
Yes.
So even as you're working, when you have that at the back of your mind, how do you take care of me? How do I take care of me as a caregiver?
When you're a caregiver, let me highlight mainly the family caregiver, because the family caregiver does not necessarily have the benefit of training so that then they can put their emotions in check. And the family caregiver is taking care of a person close to them, right? It could be a sibling, it could be a mother, a father, it could be a spouse or a child. It could be an in-law, but still this is a person who's whose interaction, the relationship is closer than for a trained professional caregiver. So let me dwell on the family caregivers first. Given that most times there was no preparation beforehand, someone just showed up in need of care and you stepped in because, one, maybe you're female, maybe you're the firstborn, maybe you are the person who has resources in terms of space and time, and you found yourself in that situation. Be prepared for emotional mix-up. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're guilty, sometimes you're going through the different stages of grief and loss as you anticipate the real loss. Okay, you are grieving loss of ability of this person. Maybe this person, whatever they are going through, has put them at a place where they are going through anger for themselves and they lash out at you. You're the one who receives all of that. They refuse to eat. You're the one who gets frustrated. They refuse to shower. You're the one who gets angry and tired. They are no longer sleeping well. You're the one who is facing fatigue, physical fatigue. And all of these things are contributing factors to compassion fatigue. Compassion fatigue is when you find you no longer have the energy, the enthusiasm, the motivation to care for this other person. And another contributing factor to compassion fatigue is that all the visitors who are coming to see the sick person do not necessarily notice you. In fact, you are required to now take care of the visitors as you're taking care of the sick person. And one of the key things in taking care of yourself is being aware that you have needs and they will dwindle if you do not replenish your energy. If you do not replenish your energy, it means you will not be able to offer quality of care to the person you're taking care of. Sure. So awareness is key. Awareness is key that you are at risk of compassion fatigue. You're at risk of trauma. You're at risk of burnout.
Yes.
You're at risk of that. Mm-hmm. And so face your needs with mindfulness. So you're going to think about things like boundaries, communication. How far can you go? How far can you take care of this person? Even if they are your spouse, how far can you take care of them? And when do you need to call in a friend, a relative, a professional? How far can you take care of them?
And I'm also thinking.
Yes.
The Bible says we are clay jars.
Yes.
And we can break.
Yes.
and often we can do that. Really.
Yes.
We have, as a caregiver, you have people coming in. Could be in-laws, relatives, friends, and they give you all sorts of advice.
They do.
Talk to such people who are very quick to offer unsolicited advice.
One, let us accept and acknowledge they probably are coming from a place of good intentions. Sometimes they really think they are helping, right? But to address the visitors with the well-meaning unsolicited advice is that be aware that the sick person is already receiving care. So they are not mainly your concern. Your concern is the person caring for the person who is unwell. That should be primary concern. And find out, are they sleeping well? Find out, are they eating well? Find out, can you help with the dishes? Find out, can you help with the laundry? Can you help with the shopping? Can you give an hour of your day so that then this person gets a break? The caregiver gets a break. That is where the good intentions, I suppose, need to go. Taking care of the caregiver, right? I know you may have previous experience taking care of another old person or another person with a disability and what worked for them, right? be aware that that may not work for this person, right? But mainly, I would say focus on the caregiver.
Focus on the caregiver.
Do they have pain on their back, on their shoulders? Do they need a hot water bottle for themselves? Do they need medication? Do they need to go for a spa to go get their hair done or their nails done?
Sure.
Take care of the caregiver. If the caregiver is well, they're in a better place to receive advice about the person who is sick. If the caregiver is well, they're better placed to carry out what it is you need them to carry out. If they are well, they're able to wake up better, to laugh better,
True.
to support better the person who is sick. So I would say take your caregiving, your secondary caregiving, to the primary caregiver. I would say that.
Awesome. Let me also find out, as we are looking at the caregiver, when we are considering caregiving, are there particular people who are more inclined into caregiving versus others? And also when we are giving care, are there different kinds of care given? Probably someone is suffering from dementia, another one is, all sorts of illnesses, recovering from surgery. Caregiving, is it different? And
It is different, depending on what it is you're taking care of and who it is you're taking care of. If it is a client, meaning you're a professional caregiver, that relationship is very, very different. And also you may have a background in first aid, administering of medication, all of that. When you're a family caregiver, let's go into gender roles, right?
Yeah.
That statistically, generally speaking, women are considered to be the natural caregiver, right?
Sure.
Whether they think they are or not, that is a different matter. But ideally, any person who is sick, the immediate caregiver will be either the oldest person in that family, the oldest female, the most outgoing person, not the introvert, the one who is said to be complicated with their personality. There are people who find that everybody is drawn to them. And we say it in our conversation, you are good with people. Wewe anakuelewa, munaelewana, unamuweza. And you find yourself in that role.
Sure.
But anyone can be a caregiver. It takes a bit of learning. And this is why. Because as a caregiver, you're the person who is able to link the person who is sick or ailing or unwell to the doctor. All right? You're the person who is taking this person to hospital, and you're the one to say hakuli vizuri. Ile dawa ulimpatia is causing heartburn. Halali vizuri. You're the one who is able to give background information. So you might find that on top of just your goodness of heart, you need to understand the condition you're taking care of. If it's dementia, read up about it. Connect with, ask the doctor if there's a care group, a support care group for people working with people with dementia. If it is autism, if it is Alzheimer's, if it is cancer, if it is, read up about it. Read up about it, because you're the one who becomes the voice, the advocate for the sick person, for the patient, for the client.
Right.
So there's a lot of reading that should be done. Network with other people. Your social circle may change. If you had a group of girls that you go out with to the chama to laugh, you might find they don't understand the things you're saying. They are not addressing your need, and you might need to change your social circle. Find other caregivers. And let me say on that note, that we run an online connection cafe every Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. On Zoom for caregivers. And they get to meet, they get to talk, they get to ask questions, they meet with experts, they meet with each other, especially now with the COVID scenario, and you're unable to physically go somewhere. Connect online. There are many, many forums on Twitter, on Instagram. Suruvi runs one on Zoom, and I can give you the meeting ID. And it helps to hear that you're not alone in your situation. that your person is not the craziest human being ever trying to finish you. It helps to hear another person going through another thing. Talk is therapy.
Oh, wonderful, especially that bit, because we are all, candidates of being a caregiver at some point.
Yes.
Yes. Then that brings us to the point of, is it costly? Will it cost me something? The financial bit of it. How is it?
It is quite a journey.
It's a journey.
It is quite a journey. If it is a condition that was not pre-existing, right?
Yes.
Then there's the sudden cost of hospital bills, medication, therapies, physiotherapies, all of that. There's a cost on the family. There's a cost on you. You might need to take up an extra job, an extra hustle, or reduce on the job hours you can put in so that you can be with this person, especially if there's nobody there to help you with the job. Mm-hmm. If it is a sibling taking care of another sick person, you become a secondary caregiver. You need to visit, take shopping, all of those things. There's always a financial cost. Then there's the physical cost on you. And it is good if the caregiver is aware of these things beforehand. Mm-hmm. Your physical form will suffer. Your physical form will suffer. Definitely. Because now you are accommodating the needs of another human being on top of yourself and whatever it is you are already accommodating. Mm-hmm. Maybe your sleep will suffer. Anxiety will cause insomnia or stress-related conditions for yourself. You might get hypertension, you might get ulcers, you might get all of those things, or not. By God's if
grace.
You have a good support system, maybe not. But then, maybe you might need to give up your bed, right?
Yes.
Maybe you might need to give up your comfortable seat, the programs you watch, the friends you talk to. There's no time for that. The kind of food you eat so that you can accommodate the new dietary requirements for this person. There is a cost on you. Maybe your prayer time, your quiet time will be infringed upon, and you might need to wake up earlier or sleep later. There's always a cost for the caregiver. And that's why it's important not to walk this journey alone. Mm-hmm. Don't walk the journey alone. Walk with somebody else.
So for me, what is coming out clearly is that the cost is more on other things than financial. Sometimes.
Yes. Sometimes they are equal.
Sometimes it could be equal.
And you need a fundraiser for the money.
Certainly.
Yes.
Which also now brings me to the element of the community.
Yes.
Support, awareness. How does all this fall into the caregiving?
A lot is required of the caregiver,
Certainly.
Including reach out if you need help. Mm-hmm. But then the community, which is the extended family, the church groups, the neighborhood,
colleagues,
the colleagues around this person, it is very, very helpful if you do not wait for the caregiver to reach out and you reach to them. It is very helpful. I may forget that I have not eaten as a caregiver. I may forget that I have not drank water because I was busy running around. And in these times when there is a curfew, it means our time for interacting has been shortened. So suddenly going to the market takes precedence over my eating. Washing this person takes precedence over my sitting down. If you have the time to visit, don't visit and be a visitor. Don't visit and be a visitor. Visit and be hands-on, right? Visit and ask, can I help with the laundry? Visit and ask, do you need to sleep? Go sleep. Go. I will watch this person for 2 hours. I will read to them the newspaper or the book or something, the Bible, for 2 hours. You go and listen to your music. Go listen to your music. Replenish yourself. Take a long shower. I'm not saying you're stinking, but, take a long shower.
I understand.
Yes. Find out, does this person need a new blouse, flowers, something to uplift them? Do they need to sit down and just watch a movie? Something. When you visit, don't be a visitor, I would say to the community. When you visit, do not come with expert advice. Okay?
And we're never short of that.
Yes, and we're never short of that. Don't be a visitor. The neighbors, look out for your neighbor. Do they go out less often? Are they dressing differently? You know, do they need new clothing maybe? Or do they need time to dress up? What is it they need? Don't just look and point from a distance and say, I didn't know how to ask. Go to them and ask the foolish question. Go and ask and be ready to apologize for the foolish question. You know, as they empathize with them. As they give compassion, be compassionate to them. Let me give the analogy of when a child is born, yes, and women come to visit the child, yes, and they come with oil for the child, new clothes for the child. What else comes for the child?
Fleas.
Everything comes for the child. How many women remember to bring breast pads for the woman who is breastfeeding? How many come and comb her hair, you know, for her? How many say, I will hold the baby and change the baby? Ama they actually give the baby back when the baby poops. You know?
You're guilty of all that.
Yes. How many come, yes, with shopping bags, which is great and you're doing fantastic, but then keep it there. Don't unpack it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I didn't know if I could go to the kitchen. Ask if you can go to the kitchen. Ask. Ask. And she will tell you, hey, wake up. And if this person says, don't worry, I'll take care of it, say the same back to them. Don't worry, I will take care of it. You know, let them get comfortable to receive help from you as well. Yes. And most caretakers, let me just add, hapo, we are very ambitious. We are very ambitious as caregivers, that I am a hero and I will be there for your every need.
It's not possible.
Akikumbuka, you are human.
You're human.
With limitations. With limitations.
And you have you to take care of.
And you have you to take care of.
Right.
Get help.
Get help.
Get specific help. Right? Sit down for yourself and say, what, if anybody asked me, what help do I need? Have a list. Right? Be aware of your physical degeneration as well. Say, siku hizi ninakasirika haraka, you know, be aware. So that then if someone says, how can I help? You don't go blank. You have a list somewhere. You make it a prayer request list. Oh Lord, give me someone to do my nails. Oh Lord, give me someone to do my laundry. Oh Lord, give me someone to talk to the old man who is sleeping there. Oh Lord, give me someone to comb my hair. And God answers our prayers.
Amen.
Yes.
So even as a caregiver, it's upon me to be self-aware that I don't get into a burnout, that I can reach out to people.
Yes.
That I need also time alone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Oh, Lord help us.
Lord help us.
And guide us.
And guide us.
And His Spirit does lead us into
and surround us.
And surround us.
With people who can help.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Wagaki.
Yes.
Your parting shot.
My parting shot. To family caregivers. Take care of yourself first. The Bible does say to us, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Two interpretations come to mind for me.
Yes.
That in the same hand that you're feeding this person, feed yourself. Love yourself as you are loving the next person. Second interpretation, love your neighbor in equal measure to yourself. Don't diminish so you can escalate the love for this other person. If you escalate this one, escalate yourself as well. If you highlight this one, equal measure to yourself. You need people.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yes.
And again, I have looked around. Wacha nijipigie debe kidogo. I have looked around. I have asked around. I am yet to find a place where caregivers meet without it being a support group. They just meet. And that is what Suruvi is doing. So that we can hear your voice, so we can hear the hidden needs that you may not be able to tell your in-laws, your husband, your sister, your brother, those ones, so that we can be that voice for you.
Amen.
Yes.
And I love that you ended it with love, love, love.
Love.
That's what we keep calling ladies in the chat, to love one another. And a gospel in the word is love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Wambui.
Great to have you.
It was a
Thank
pleasure.
You. Nice.
All right.
Hello, ladies, and thank you for tuning in to yet another session of the Ladies Fellowship. We trust that these forums have been a blessing to you and that you are all being encouraged. We just learned on caregiving. Please continue to give us feedback and your thoughts on other topics that you'd like us to cover, and keep praying for one another and reaching out to your fellow church members. Thank you, and until next time, we'll see you.